Kakadosh Boker Or, Beki'im Bahalacha 6, day 54. I sent it out on the text. We are Siman Kuf Samech 160, page 136. We are on Halacha Yod, number 10. We're talking about now blacksmith's water. The water in a container in a smithy is disqualified for Netilat Yadayim, since the blacksmith almost certainly has used it to douse his hot metal in his work. Even if the water has a normal appearance, it may not be used. So basically, after they come and they put their knives and whatever the utensils, they heat it up. The blacksmith is going to put it into water. So the fact that he puts it into water, it's going to be problematic. Okay? Halacha Yodalev, barber's water. The water in a basin in a barber shop may be used for Netilat Yadayim as long as the barber has not used the water. Dipping his hands into it, right? If it is known that he used it, then it's disqualified. If it's not known whether he used it or not, we may assume that he did not do the water, right? And it's fit for Netilat Yadayim. Halacha Yud Bet. Okay? What about boiled water? If someone filled a hot water bottle for medical purposes, the water cannot be used afterwards for Netilat Yadayim. Likewise, if someone boiled eggs on the stove, the water cannot be used. Because again, this is called used water. For the same reason, water in the radiator is also disqualified. So anytime that the water was used for a purpose, you put in a hot water bottle, you put it in your stomach to calm your stomach down. You put it in a radiator, and then they have the water. You come and you put it in to boil up eggs. Anytime that the water is used, you cannot use it for Netilat Yadayim. Look at 84. Pri Megadim wrote that he's unsure of the ruling regarding hot water in the hot water bottle. Several Achronim, right, they ruled stringently, explaining that it's highly unusual for people to reuse that water. So the Piskei Teshuvah ruled that the water in the radiators is also disqualified, although it might be possible to argue that it's similar to the water that about melted ice. Explaining below that if you remember, we said that no one would consider drinking the water that have been used for these purposes in normal, meaning nobody's going to take water out of a radiator and drink it, or nobody's going to take water out of the water bottle and drink it. So because of those things, it's prohibited for Netilat Yadayim. Okay, 13. Right, there's the last halacha. Any use of water disqualifies it for the mitzvah Netilat Yadayim. Even simply using it to measure a container makes it used water. So if wooden items have cracked from the dry heat of the summer and they are placed in water to rejuvenate them, the water is disqualified. So imagine you've got wood, you put it in water just to rejuvenate it that it doesn't become so dry. Again, the same thing. You're using it. The second you use the water, it's disqualified. If a container is marked at points where its contents are 1 cup, 2 cups, and so on, and someone fills it partially with water and places an item in the container to determine the item of the volume's measuring of the water's level, the water is now disqualified. If someone uses the water as a counterbalance to weigh meat on the other side of the scale, the water is still fit for the mitzvah. Because being a counterbalance does not make it used water, since nothing was done to the water itself. Likewise, if someone weighs a container of water, right, the water remains fit for mitzvah. So basically, if you're using the water for something, then yes. But if you're not using the water, even though you're using it now as a counterbalance on the other side of the scale, but that water, nothing was done to it. So if nothing was done to it, you're allowed to use the water for Netilat Yadayim. But the second that you use it to rejuvenate something, to clean your hands with something, to whatever it was, then it's going to be prohibited, right, for using.